Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be sharing with you how to make this traditional Iraqi style turmeric barley, or commonly known in northern Iraq as Paqota or Habbiya. So let's get started and I will show you what you will need. I'm going to start off by prepping the meat, and I have here lamb loin chops, and this recipe traditionally calls for lamb meat. You will need to soak your meat in cold water for the next 30 minutes, and this process will help with getting rid of all the blood in the meat. And now I will move on to brown the meat. You will need a cooking pot, something deep, because we're going to use the same pot. I didn't add any oil. All I'm going to do, add the lamb loin chops, and the goal here is to brown each side until you get the golden brown color on low to medium heat, and keep your eye on the meat. Do not walk away because you could easily burn your meat. And like I said, it is best to use the lamb loin chops because it does give it that extra flavor. And now that I've gotten that golden brown color on each side of the meat of the lamb loin chops, I'm going to add 14 cups of hot water, and I'm going to turn up the heat, and I will be cooking this meat for an hour and 15 minutes on high heat. And I will be adding the ingredients and the measurements to the description box. I did make a large amount. If it's your first time making this, I suggest cutting the recipe in half. This is after an hour and 15 minutes. The meat is close to being cooked. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder and 1 tablespoon of salt. And I have kept the temperature on high heat. Now I'm ready to wash the whole barley. I have 3 cups of whole barley, and I'm going to wash it 2-3 times, get rid of all the water, get rid of all that starch, and now I will be adding the washed barley to the meat broth. We want to make sure that the water level is 4 inches higher than the barley itself. So what I'm doing here, I'm adding all the barley, and I'm going to even out everything so I can find out where the water level is. I want to make sure I have at least 4 inches of liquid above the barley. And it looks like I need some more water, so I'm going to add 2 more cups of hot water. It is extremely important that you don't mix or stir the barley during this cooking process. You just keep it on high heat for the next 20 minutes. Barley contains a large amount of starch, and if you end up stirring, it's going to release most of that starch, and you could easily burn your food. During this time, I'm going to saute some onion. I cut up some onion here, and I'm going to saute it, and then I will be adding that to the barley. It's been 20 minutes on high heat. I am ready to drop the temperature to medium heat for the next 15 minutes this time. And you don't need to mix or stir. Do not mix or stir, and you just leave it alone for the next 15 minutes. It's been 15 minutes on medium heat, and it's time to drop the temperature completely. Now I'm going to leave it on simmer for the next 30 minutes, and I went ahead and added the onion, and I'm mixing gently here. Just be careful, you do not want to end up with mushy or sticky barley. If you do mix too much, that's what you're going to end up with. Now we're going to leave it for the next 30 minutes on simmer. And here we are all done with our turmeric barley recipe. This came out perfect. The smell is so good, and it's absolutely delicious. I'm going to give you some helpful tips. If you end up making this recipe and you feel that your barley has a little bit of extra water, all you have to do, take the lid off and keep it on simmer a little longer. Or if you end up with crunchy barley, don't be afraid, you could still fix that. You keep it on simmer, boil some water, maybe about half a cup of water, add it to it, put the lid back on and leave it on simmer until it's completely cooked. And if you have enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.